morning to Chamara ji, our distinguished Chief Auditor for today, a guest for today. Sama Audit is, privileged and happy to present the Chief Auditor series, which brings Chief Audit executives, CFOs, regulators, educators in the field of internal audit to speak to them, to understand their experiences, because what better way than to learn from the people who have made their journey, who have achieved something in the field of internal audit, and who are willing to share their knowledge with the rest of the world. So I think this is how the Chief Auditor series was conceived and designed by my colleague, my friend Satish Shanoy and myself, and we are very happy to have you with us, Chamara ji.
Yeah, super, because it is the first international speaker that we are hosting. So it's very exciting, and we are really looking forward to having you on board, Chamara ji. So all yours. I think you can just, Dibji will introduce you, and then we are all yours.
Sure. So I'll formally introduce Chamara ji. So Chamara Dissanayake currently functions as the General Manager of the CBL Group in Sri Lanka, Colombo Biscuits Limited Group in Sri Lanka. He is auditor by profession and associate member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. He holds Masters of Business Administration specialization in finance from University of South Queensland of Australia and is a member of Institute of Internal Auditors, USA. He functions currently as the Secretary of Institute of Internal Auditors, Sri Lanka chapter.
Wow.
And Honorary Auditor of Asian Confederation of Institute of Internal Auditors. He has more than 19 years of experience locally and internationally in the area of audit, governance, and risk, covering a diverse industries, manufacturing, banking, telecommunication, oil and gas, diversified groups, construction, and big four audit firms. He also functions as a trainer, speaker in Sri Lanka, sharing his expertise in internal audit, risk, and governance. And the last part is very dear to both Satish and me, because you are willing and you are spreading the knowledge which you have gained over the years. Nothing better than this. So, over to you, Chamara ji, for your presentation, for your insights for the next 20-25 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Deepjay and Mr. Satish, for that lovely introduction. And thank you very much for inviting me to share my knowledge for this Chief Auditor series. And Aibovan for all of you. This is how we greet in Sri Lanka. And so it's really happy to join with you and Sama Audit, share my knowledge and experience. So without taking much time, let me start my quick presentation. Initially, I will go through about my organization where I currently work. Then immediately we will discuss about our internal audit practices, how we do internal audit, different aspects in our internal audit function. Sometimes certain things may be new, certain things you may aware. So let's go ahead. Sure. I hope it's fine.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my quick presentation. Is it clearly visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let me start from my organization where I worked for the last 4 years. Before previously I was in Middle East, Dubai and Saudi Arabia. And before moving to Middle East, I was in Sri Lanka in banking, telecommunication, and Big Four. So straight away from Middle East, I had the opportunity to join this lovely company called CBL Group. So it's one of the largest FMCG companies in Sri Lanka, and it's a family-based company with lots of values and positive impact to our society. And we day to day we are expanding our branch network or our presence all over the global as well as in Sri Lanka. So we started way back 1968 with a visionary leader called Mr. Meneka Vikramasinghe, our founder chairman. So today we have 9 facilities across Sri Lanka and few manufacturing facilities in Myanmar, Bangladesh, Ghana, and we also have a distribution facility in India as well. So these are our core values: caring, quality, innovation, and integrity, which is embedded in our culture. These are our biggest brands. We basically manufacture chocolates, biscuits, cereals, soya, lots of big brands, and all these brands are leading in the market. It's happy to note that. These are our basic product portfolio: biscuits, chocolates, cakes, coconut-related products, which we export a lot. Soy-based, organic fruits and spices, we export a lot again. We bring lots of export revenue to Sri Lanka. Cereals as well as soups and porridge. Just to give a brief overview of our key products, these are our biscuit range, lovely biscuit range, diverse biscuit range, exporting to 60 plus countries all over the world. And this is our chocolate range. We are the market leader, around I think 75 to 80% market share. And this is our cake segment. Sponge, this is our soy products. And this is our coconut range. It's a really huge portfolio we have, from virgin coconut oil to cream-based product and desiccated coconut. And now we have fruits and spice range as well. So let me quickly go to the main segment today. And also we have 13,000 farmers linked with us. We give them a guaranteed price for them. So, and we do our best to uplift their standards. So it is kind of a community program. There are lots of community programs we are doing. We are helping the schools. We are building the infrastructures, roads, community facilities. So not only we focus on our business, we focus on our community as well. So let's discuss about our internal audit department. That's about our company. So our company is a group of company. We have 9 local subsidiaries and 3 foreign subsidiaries. So our internal audit department, it's a group department. We are reporting to board audit committee. It's an independent board audit committee. And I'm heading the department as General Manager Group Internal Audit. Then we have an in-house team as well as outsourced team. We have outsourced certain our internal audit functions to one of the big 4 audit firms. So we are getting the benefits of both the in-house and outsourced team. So then let's move on to the key segments or key pillars in our department. Now we have financial and operational audit, IT and IS audit, ERM review functions as well. And we have compliance testing, fraud investigations. We review PNPs and analytics. These are the different pillars in our internal audit department. So let me quickly go through each and every one. Then we will discuss about any questions related to this area. So financial and operational audit, we basically conducted through our internal team as well as our external team. So what we do is we do annual internal audit plan for all our entities from our using our in-house resources, and we assign our outsourced auditors. We give them the scope and the areas to be covered. So initially we decide the scope of each engagement, and they will conduct the audit and share with us their reports, and we will also participate in the exit meetings and all. We have developed internal audit methodology for us, which is used by our external outsourced auditors as well. So you have lots of benefits with outsourced team because they will be able to bring lots of key expertise from their different aspects, certain areas, and it is really helpful for us as well. And then we have IS and IT audit segment. So as you know, we are doing lots IT and IS related audits, access controls, post and pre-implementation reviews. We have a SAP environment. So there are lots of testing, application testing through SAP systems and other systems and other functionalities. We do lots of testing as well, and this includes our BCP and cybersecurity related audits also. Certain audits we will outsource if we don't have the capability, but basically most of the IT audits we cover through our internal team. And then a very important area, part of our internal audit function is our ERM pillar. I'm sure lots of people have questions on why audit do or why audit department, internal audit perform ERM activities. Here what we do is we assist our companies to implement their enterprise risk management system. So what we do is we facilitate them to identify key risks of their individual entities based on ISO 31000. Then we will help them, assist them. We will conduct risk workshops. We will get the key risks from them, and we will evaluate it, and we will ultimately come up with key risk registers. So these key risk registers will get monitored on a different frequently at different stages at the board level as well as different committee levels. So as internal auditors, it is the responsibility of the respective departments and CEOs to identify their risk. What we do is we will facilitate them and help them with our knowledge in risk and ERM to identify their risk and monitor it on a frequent basis. So that is very important aspects of our department as well. Then we do compliance testing. This is kind of a combined assurance area. What do you mean by combined assurance is we will ask them to self declaration from them on certain compliance activity. So on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, they will send us their compliance requirements, whether they have complied or not. And from our side, also we go and test them whether they have complied the key compliance requirements in line with the regulations, statutes of Sri Lanka. Then we have the fraud investigation unit as well. So any financial related frauds will be done through our department, and we have a very strict and comprehensive whistleblowing guidelines. So whatever the whistleblowing calls or letters we received through our independent person, it will, if it is related to financial frauds, it will come to us. So we will investigate and we will give our independent report. Then we have another aspect, that is we are functioning as a center of excellence in relation to designing policies and procedures and also controls. I'm sure certain people will ask, is there a conflict if internal auditors will design internal controls? But what we do here is we will assist them again to our clients or our departments or our CEOs. Now, certain areas we have the expertise in designing the right controls. So it's no point going back and later say, like issue a report or tell them your control is not effective. So it's better you be kind of proactive and inform them at the beginning when they design the control that you need to design this in such a way to balance your risk and control. So we do that element as well within our department, and certain changes in our policies and procedures and delegations of authorities. It is reviewed by our department, and with our green light only, it will go for the approval of the board of directors. And we have another interesting segment, that is analytics. We use different platforms for audit analytics. We have SAP BO, Business Objects, as internal audit analytic purpose. We create reports using this SAP BO, Business Intelligence tool. And also we are using Power BI. For example, all our dashboards are created using Power BI. So all our follow-up reports, follow-up audit reports are presented or shared using dash reports to all the CEOs. So anytime, anywhere, they can just click and see what are the outstanding issues under their purview. Then we are using internationally based audit tool, that is Idea Caseware. So we are using it for our data analytic purpose as well. So we are still learning that, and like willing to get lots of insights using this software as well. And we have another locally customized or locally manufactured internal control software, I would say kind of a monitoring software. And this software is getting the data from our SAP system, and with certain criteria, it will pop up alerts. Now, for example, let's say GRN created outside office hours. The following day, it will generate an alert to the respective department head as well as to our audit team. And any duplication payment, any they will do time series analysis, and they will do Z-score analysis. This is how we have configured the system. So they create alerts. So these alerts directly go to the respective functional heads. For example, let's say invoice, same invoice, same vendor created twice, an alert will be generated, and it will go to the respective finance head to check it. So they will need to go through that, then they need to see, tick it, whether it's a legitimate one or whether it's a duplicate one. Same thing will come to us, and we will also check, and in every month or quarterly basis, we'll see how many alerts created from the system and how many resolved by our team. So basically that is our analytic function. So I think I wrap up everything in double quick time what we are doing at Internal Audit Department of CBL Group, Ceylon Biscuits Limited.
Superb. I really like the way you bucketed your activities in the buckets that you presented. Very nice. It looks a very, very comprehensive work that you're doing. Your company CBL distributes food to, or rather, so gives food to the people, and you have given food for thought for auditors. I must say, Chamara, this was really, I was lapping it up every time you were talking.
Thank you very much.
I have one question to you, if you don't mind, and that's on the whistleblowing activity. What you are talking about.
Yes.
While it is very nice that these financial frauds and other things do come to you, and whistleblowing, in my opinion, is a very important aspect of audit, because it really brings an opportunity. It gives an opportunity for others to say if anything has gone wrong. I just wanted to understand that if there is an anonymous complaint, either by an employee or a vendor, or we don't know, is an anonymous complaint, then do you take cognizance of these anonymous complaints?
Yes. If it is an anonymous complaint, it is supported with strong facts and evidence. Definitely, we will take into our consideration.
Okay.
But when we received an anonymous complaint, we will do a kind of a prima facie evaluation whether it is supported with the relevant facts and evidence. If it is not, we will not spend a lot of time. But most of the time, if it is supported, we will go through anonymous complaints, and we encourage anonymous complaints as well.
Okay. And just a follow up on that, what will be the percentage of anonymous complaints? I don't want numbers. We don't want anything which is private. But what would be the percentage? Is it a 50-50 between named complaints and anonymous complaints?
I think majority would be anonymous complaints.
Okay. And how do you protect the rights of the whistleblower? I know there are legislations and laws and all, but on the ground level, is there something that did you have any problems with the whistleblowers who are named and things like that, or it's a very smooth process?
So far, in our whistleblowing policy, we have clearly demarcated the lines how to protect and safeguard the whistleblowers and how to ensure that their identity is not revealed. So all our whistleblowing, whether it's anonymous or a normal way, it will go to our chairman and chairman audit committee. Then he will give the details to me. So it is between him and myself, and it will not go to any other persons, any CEO or any director within the company. So once we have investigated, we will share only the findings, not the person. Excellent. And the actions to be taken. That is how we do it within our group.
Proud of the way that you are doing this piece of work. Yeah, Debji.
I think first a comment and then a question first. This is wonderful because as we go out to effective, great or good internal departments across and chief internal auditors, we find that risk management, compliance testing in terms of internal control. When you talked about compliance testing, it is self-assessments by the process owners, then which comes to you, and selectively then you can look at it in terms of the statutory compliances, fraud investigations, the whole gamut of operations, including designing of SOPs, because internal auditors are best placed to look at internal controls. So I think designing of policies, irrespective of what the standard may say, the consulting help, the consulting focus of the internal department is always, there. So we have found that with almost all the good internal departments where the internal auditor is extending their reach to the consulting activity in terms of fraud reviews, in terms of ERM, in terms of, building the processes, right processes, so that it is leakage free. That's the comment. One question.
Vijay, can we close the presentation so that then the screen will become bigger? It will work better.
Chamara ji, can you?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, much better.
So I think when we talk about, there's a comment, since it's a FMCG company and you are directly going out to the farms, you are having outreach programs with the farmers, you have outreach program with the communities that you service around, because they in turn feed back to the company, the inputs to the company, and also there is a good social responsibility which is being done. So though the internal audit is focusing out to the customers, to the supply chain, distribution, operations, is there, we always find that the outreach programs, there are always leakages, or there are always, it is not as effective as it should be. So does internal audit also extend their reach to the money spent and the effectiveness of the outreach programs to the farm community and to the community in general across, being such a conglomerate in Sri Lanka?
Yes, definitely. We spend a lot of money and effort uplifting our farmer community. Now, for example, these days we are doing a smart agriculture program where we enroll our farmers to our we change from manual practices to we try to automate them. We will give them we will enroll them to our system. So their details everything is with us. We used to pay them using checks. We have introduced banking facilities to them, and now slowly they are getting used to the WhatsApp environment as well. So when they bring their produce to our locations, So we will include it in the same time using our tabs given to our agriculture officers, and they will record their sale, and it will go to our warehouses, getting GRN, and in a couple of days time, they will get a message from their bank account that your money has been transferred. So with this process, internal audit is proactively involved. For example, when the uh, online banking platforms are introduced to our farmers, we were there. We went through and we spoke to the farmers because their level of technology and use of mobile phones is not that great. So we went there and asked the key concerns from them and got lots of feedback from them. Then accordingly, we designed our process, especially to our farmer community. And the new current smart technology also, we are reviewing at the pre-implementation as well as post-implementation stage as well. So yeah, basically that's it on our extending our support to our farmer community. And I want to explain one thing related to ERM, and since Mr. Deepje discussed about that, we are acting on a, like, it's a proactive role what is doing here in CBL. For example, when the COVID impacted us, our country was subjected to lockdown on around 20th of March 2020. So when before that, 3 weeks before that date or 2 weeks before that date, we shared an alert with all our CEOs and key department heads. If local lockdowns occurs, what things you need to focus. So we included the supply chain, communication, your BCP, and all sorts of things that you need to focus clearly. So once the consultative committee, how to prevent and minimize the impact of COVID and how to arrange the policies and procedures to ensure the business continuity of our organization. So in that sense, while helping our organization in terms of risk and also while helping them to design their controls, we are doing a proactive approach at it. I hope I've answered the question on the farmer community.
Oh, yes.
Just perfect. I think absolutely fine.
So, Chamara, I've seen in your presentation that you have a in-house team as well as an outsourced team.
Yes.
One of the big four helping you. What is the way in which you decide that these audits will be done in-house and this will be done through the outsource? Is there some methodology, or how do you go about doing this?
Yes, we have identified critical audits as well as critical and confidential audits, which require lots of business awareness, lots of knowledge on our systems, which is, so those audits are done by our in-house audits, which, and there are other audits like financial control reviews and safety quality audits. And financial control reviews includes end-to-end financial reviews, like from your financial closing process, your AP process, AR process, payroll, everything. We give it to our big four firms because they are specialized in financial controls. For example, if you take a media audit, where we spend billions of rupees in buying advertisements and media space. So as in-house auditors, we have the expertise, and certain areas are very confidential, our media strategy and all. So those areas we will assign our in-house audit team, and the other areas which are not confidential, but in terms of criticality, it is, I would say, it is not the highest, but it is medium to high. We will give it to our outsourced internal auditors, which they are specialized in.
Just out of interest, any observations which come out from the outsourced auditors, do you present it to the audit committee or it is done by them?
What happened is we will do the entire audit plan for all entities, and we will give the scope of each audit to the outsourced auditors, and we will also share with them a document called risk assessment matrix. So under each scope, there are sub-processes. Under each sub-processes, we have devised or planned this document according to the COSO internal control framework key elements. So under each element, they have key questions and key risks are identified. So we will share this planning document also with the outsourced auditors. So they take this and they will add their comments on new risk as well. And they will update that also. They go ahead and do the field work and the audit. Then they will share with us the draft report. And we will, their draft report is reviewed by their management as well. And also we will review because we have a more business understanding. So any recent issues we know. So we will review their draft report and we give our points and comments. After that, we'll have an exec meeting with our management. That's the usual process. So they will present it. I will also part of them. Then after each and every, after a couple of months, when we have the internal audit board audit committee, they will present it to the board audit committee with my present, but all their presentations going through myself. I will review that as well.
Chamara, there's one question. Since you have a presence in so many countries, India, Ghana, you spoke about so many countries that you export to and your operations there, distribution systems there. So how does Internal Audit ensure that, how does the company ensure and how does Internal Audit ensure that when we're talking about the compliances in those regions, because each country would have a different set of compliances. That's one. And number two, how do you carry out internal audit for those geographies? Do you outsource it in those local countries or do you send auditors from Sri Lanka or how do you manage that?
Yeah, interesting question. So internationally, all our international operations, we go from our side. For example, last couple of years, I used to go for our Bangladesh operation. So when I go there, I will spend around 2 weeks. So I will do the entire internal audit functions, manufacturing audit, the financial audits, everything. Then also I will do the risk register as well with them. In addition to that, there is a compliance statement. I will help them to do it. I will understand their compliance requirements and I will put it the self-assessment also. So we will help them and they will send it on a monthly basis and quarterly basis, their compliance statement and the risk assessments as well, risk registers as well. So basically it is from here. Our in-house team will go to the other locations. Now next month we are going to Ghana. That is African country. We have a manufacturing plant there. So we will do the end-to-end internal audit functions and we will do the risk register as well as we will do the compliance check as well.
Great. I think that's great.
Do we have time for one more question, Dibji? Or
please, you want me to?
I'll So I was particularly happy about, and since Sama is also in the analytics space, particularly interested to know a little bit more about not about the kind of software that you're using, but what benefits we are getting. So you said that one thing which really made me feel very nice is that your system is throwing alerts,
Yes.
So how easy is it or how difficult is it to manage these alerts that keep coming out from the system? Are there too many alerts? Is there too few alerts? Do the business really, when they get these alerts, what do they do with it? How do you collate it? How do you follow up? There's so many aspects, as I can see, once the system decides, or you have decided that the system will give some alerts, there is a lot of walkthrough that you need to do right through till the end of that alert, So very briefly, I mean, would you be able to explain this to us, please?
Yes, actually, it was a kind of a journey. Initially, when we created the alerts, there were lots of feedback from our department heads. Then we relook at it. We have checked what are the important alerts, what are the alerts which will give the real value addition, alerts which will not waste our time as well as our department heads or the process owners' time. Then we have changed, we have created a project and we have changed the criterias and alerts which will give the real value additions. So in terms of numbers of alerts, it has reduced. And also the machine learning, they will also recognize certain aspects, certain alerts. And now we have the alerts, which is really helpful for the business and which act also as a deterrent to errors and omissions and sometimes maybe frauds. So that was a journey. It took some time, but we got this local software. These guys helped a lot.
I'm sure the youngsters who will see this video will definitely learn a lot from this. And I particularly wanted and hope to hear you be saying all these points, and you said it so well. So kudos to you. Yeah, Deepji, one more question.
I think it is this is a great internal department, which Chamara ji is in a very humble fashion has presented, because he's talking with so much humility, and then so much of work is being done by the internal department. Just one last question before Satish wraps it up, concludes it. How many people are there in-house in your team, Chamara ji? And what is the turnover of the group? Just a ballpoint figure.
Turnover, I would say it's I cannot disclose because it's
no problem.
But we are.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Please.
It is top 10 companies in Sri Lanka.
Okay, great.
So we have 80% local business and 20% foreign exports.
Right.
And we have 6,000 staff members all over Sri Lanka, plus as well as in other countries.
Right.
And our Internal Audit department, we have 3 staff members.
Very good.
Oh, so you're doing so much of work with just 3 people. Commendable, really commendable.
So we had a brilliant session today, and Chamara was on the flow. I don't know how many of us are cricket players, but he was the batting, sweet timing to everything that he was saying. And the ball was, the fielders used to just go to the boundary and bring the ball back. That was the kind of flow. Very happy to see that CBL Group is in so many businesses helping farmers. You are also into social sector. I could see from the photos that you showed, and giving employment to 6,000 people sitting in Sri Lanka is a very, very big achievement. I was very happy to see the points of caring, quality, integrity, innovation being called out in your company's focus areas. And really, it gave us a very, very, very good flavor of what companies are doing in Sri Lanka. So it was not only a presentation of your company or talking high of your company, but it's also talking high of your nation. And that is something which I really picked up very well. I also like the way that you distributed, you showed that one slide and talked about the different aspects of work that you do. That is, in the financial audit, operational audit, ITIS audits, which is being done. Your participation in the ERM and what is your role, which is coming out in ERM, is a lesson, I think, which many will take away. Your work with compliance, fraud investigation, processes and policies, and you expressed certain reservation whether auditors should indeed do processes and procedures and controls. But my personal view and humble view is in agreement with you that yes, do whatever is useful to the management, whatever you feel, so long as you're not, that objectivity is there, that independence is there. Ultimately, independence is a state of mind. And if you maintain that, there's absolutely no problem on it. So I was very happy that you endorsed this as well. Analytics is very dear to Sama because that's the, Sama has a lot of products on analytics. And as I said in the question, I was very happy to see that those alerts are the system is prompting those alerts. Of course, the system is prompting the alerts because you have designed the system in the manner in which those alerts will come. And I was happy to see how useful those alerts are there for the company. I like the key risk register in which that activity which is also being done along with the risk management people in the company. Your participation in the whistleblowing mechanism to take financial frauds or financial complaints or whistleblowing complaints to its logical conclusion is another beautiful aspect. The center of excellence that you mentioned was something that is really worth seeing it. And I know why you are participating in that center of excellence, because you seem to be, the way you described your activities, truly to be in the center of what is an excellent company and an excellent nation. So you also on the very softly and very nicely, as Dipji very rightly said, you also very quietly said that yes, your audit plans are based on COSO. And so beautifully you laid emphasis on it, while you were answering the question about outsource and internal audits. So in 35 minutes, I think you packed so much for all of us. This is going to be a very interesting video. And I'm sure it's going to be, whenever Sama decides to make, say, 100 videos, I'm sure you will be among the top 10 videos, which is in the view. And just as your company is right up there in the whole. So thank you, Chamara. Thank you. Good wishes to you and your wonderful team. Do continue the good work. Keep the internal audit flag flying high. And please, when next time you're in Bombay, please call on us and we'll be glad to have a cup of tea. Though I know your Sri Lankan tea is much better than our tea, but we also have our flavors of Darjeeling and other things, and we can probably exchange a packet or two. So that's on that note, I would like to conclude, but Dipji always has the last word. So maybe Dipji, if you can say this, but thank you, Chamara, very much for the time that you spent with us. It was an excellent start of the day for us. And thank you very much. We are blessed to have you here. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chamara. Thank you very much. Again, I'm repeating with great humility, with lot of humility, you have made this presentation, and it's a lot of good work being done in the internal audit space. So as Satish said, keep the internal audit flag flying. And I think it is all due credit to the leadership in internal audit. This is due to you. So Chamara, thank you very much. Thanks a lot for this session with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Satish, and thank you, Mr. Deepse, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge with all of you. And it's happy to share and train people. I'm working as a trainer as well. So in the final thoughts, in the final remark, I would say internal auditor is in a unique position in an organization, because apart from your board of directors, apart from your CEO, internal auditor has access, or he has information on all aspects of the organization. So I know there are independence requirements, I know there are conflicts of interest, but whenever you have time, you need to wear that strategic consulting hat and help your organization, and need to bring the right value at the right time. So again, thank you very much for having me. And again, I'm happy to share my knowledge and experience with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
something.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.